Hello and welcome to our series, Winter is Coming. This is our last day in our 5-day series, and my name is Melissa Allen, and this is brought to you by Exam Facts. Today we are going to go over saving your money and energy for a sunny day. All right, so most of you who are going all the way through this series are planning to, or depending on when you're watching this series, you might already be working a lot of overtime. And if that is the case, it is a good idea to do a couple of things with that overtime. Method one is spread it out over the year, very much like teachers don't necessarily work in the summertime, but they have that income all year round. That's something you could definitely do depending on how much overtime you're doing. If you're just doing one shift every 2 weeks, then maybe it's not necessarily something for you. But if you're really cranking it out, it might be nice to actually have that money left when you have the time later in the year, when they are canceling, when you are just working your 3 shifts a week. So the way you would do that is you would just figure out how much extra money you're actually bringing home after taxes, all of that, and then try to stash some away, at least to last you through the beginning of summer until next overtime season starts. Now, method two is maybe you have something you're trying to work for to pay off a credit card or a loan, even prepay some bills to take the edge off the rest of the year is a great idea. So that way, when they are canceling, you could say by all means cancel, even if you don't have enough PTO. You could even feel comfortable doing that because you have that money stashed away. Now, method three, and this is the funnest one, and this is one that really keeps your momentum up, is you're going to plan and pay for, maybe even prepay for a nice treat at the end of all this. Maybe in March, maybe not till May or June if you have kids and you have to wait for them to get out of school, but you're going to plan a nice trip and you're going to prepay for it with this overtime money. So when you are having that bad day and really frustrated and so tired, you're like, but I'm going to be on the beach in the Bahamas, but I'm going to be wherever it is you want to be. So that's something that I always find is very motivating to keep me going. Now, it's really not usually the best idea to only do that one. You should maybe do one of the other two as well. Pay off the last trip if you still have some money on your credit card, or stash some extra money away in addition to this big trip. So how about our energy? It is exhausting being a respiratory therapist in the winter. No one understands how hard we really are working and how much our workload truly changes. The hospital as a whole gets busier, but our workload, I honestly believe, changes more than any other discipline in the wintertime. So we need to save our energy as well, otherwise we will get burnt out and exhausted and possibly sick. So a little bit of that energy is, if whatever you're doing with the money, let that inspire you, let that keep your motivation up. Having that purpose, that extra treat trip like we're talking about, should do a lot to keep you energized, to make you feel like you're doing this with a purpose, not just suckered into working to help out the department. At least you're getting something out of it. And keep your eye on that prize when you are tired. And in spite of those financial goals, and as great as they are, and as wonderful as that trip is going to be, as wonderful as it is going to be to pay off that debt, don't let that hard work make you burn out. If it's time to say no, it's time to say no if you're just too exhausted. And remember, it's not forever. Now, we know some years this goes on till May, certain parts of the country. Other years it's dead over come the second week in March. So it just depends. So realize it's not forever, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And there will be a day, it may not be till June, July, or August where you will be canceled or you can have a lot of days off. And in order to save your energy and not burn out, it's like really try to rest on your days off. And this is going to become more and more important the further you get into the season. if at the beginning of the season in November, if you're still running around a little bit on your days off, it's probably not going to be that bad. Come February and March, even April, if it's a busy season, a long season, you need to make sure you're taking those days off as days off. It doesn't mean you shouldn't get some of your chores done, but you should really be resting, sleeping in, doing things that are going to make you happy and rest, and not being suckered into doing a lot of busy things that are just going to make you feel like you're constantly running around, constantly doing things, constantly having that same high energy you are when you're at work. And really, really try to avoid over planning your days off. You know, if you have to get to Costco, you have to get to the store, that's one thing. But try not to have to do 7, 8, 9, 10 chores on that day off, because if you need rest, you need rest. And the big thing about this is you have to take care of yourself. If you get that rest, you know, you might not get sick. If you can manage to eat healthy and not get suckered into just getting so behind that you're just eating whatever junk food is around. Call in sick if you get ill. You know, a lot of times we'll work sick, and then everybody knows every year somebody, and let's try not to make it you, work sick and it just gets tired and more run out, and they end up really sick, and they end up out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And that's not what you want. That's not good for you, your body, your health, and it's not good for your bottom line if you end up having to use up all your PTO that you wanted to use later on to take that fun vacation, right? Minimize the stress. And this is going to be at home. Minimize the pressure you put on yourself to get everything done. You know, your house may just have to be dirty until spring cleaning. If you're really putting a lot of overtime in, you need to just really minimize the pressure you put on yourself, minimize the stress, and try to minimize the stress at work as much as possible. But we know we live in a high stress environment, and it's madness, and people are crashing, and it is what it is. But get enough sleep. Get enough sleep will help a lot with that. All right, I want to thank everyone for participating in this series, Winter is Coming. My name is Melissa Allen, and you can check us out at examfacts.net, and we'll have a full series of CEUs available come early January, early February, right when y'all are coming down off this busy season and might need to have time to think about that sort of thing. All right, have a great day.